Hello everyone. Today we will be discussing our AI group project, topic 2. First, let me explain the background of the topic. Generative AI is a branch of artificial intelligence that can create new content, such as images, text, music, etc. For example, generative AI can produce realistic portraits of people who do not exist, write poems or stories in different styles, and even generate codes for various applications. Generative AI uses deep learning models, such as neural networks, to learn from large amounts of data and generate new content that is similar to the data. AI can also use natural language processing, computer vision, and audio processing to understand and manipulate natural languages, images, or sound. Generative AI has many potential applications and benefits for various fields and domains, especially for medical professions and academic life. For instance, generative AI can help doctors and researchers to diagnose diseases, discover new drugs, create medical images and simulations, or synthesize medical reports or papers. Generative AI can also help students and teachers to learn and teach better by providing personalized feedback, generating educational content or quizzes, or creating interactive scenarios or games. First, we will be discussing the impact of AI in physiotherapy, which consists of the good impacts, for example, the augmentation of work, and the bad impacts, like the affection of job prospects for physiotherapists. We will be also discussing how AI assists in helping the project, for example, generating ideas and development of text scripts, and also the problems encountered during the project and the solutions, for example, hallucinated information, vague contents, and several trials.
Then we would like to talk about the impact of generative AI to the different types of jobs in physiotherapy. First, there are several positive impacts of generative AI. First, augmentations of work. AI can act as an online customer service assistant and automate some administrative tasks, for example, collecting basic personal information of the patients and helping the patients to make appointments with physiotherapists for recovery treatment. It helps the physiotherapist to free up time for other duties. They can thus have more time and effort to concentrate on things that are more important, such as giving more attention to patient care and developing new therapeutic methods. It can avoid physiotherapists wasting time on bulky administrative tasks, and this increases their working efficiency. Second, AI can help in treating and interpreting a large amount of data. It can help to give a better therapeutic effect in some way. It can help to make an accurate diagnosis of what kinds of illness do the patient suffer from. Some physiotherapists may lack experience as they do not have much chance to get along with lots of patients yet. When physiotherapists input the prompt and ask AI what are the illnesses their patients are suffering from based on their symptoms, the AI will help to diagnose and give possible answers of the reasons behind the symptoms based on the information stored in the database, including information of real cases happened in the past and research done by the professionals in the field. This helps the physiotherapist to make accurate judgment and can compensate for the shortcomings in diagnosing the situations of the patient due to insufficient experience. It can minimize the chance of misdiagnosis and thus prevent missing the golden times of recovery of the patients. Being able to find the main cause of the patient's sickness, physiotherapists can suggest effective therapeutic methods that are the most suitable for their patients. Moreover, it can help the physiotherapist to design effective personalized treatment plans for their patients. Nowadays, the approach of people like me has been suggested, which provides patients specific medical care by matching individuals with similar patients from historical data and utilizing those data to create a personalized estimated recovery trajectory. It is useful in predicting and monitoring the patient's treatment outcome. AI can play a key role in making the process of analyzing and graphing a large amount of data time-saving and cost-saving. When the physiotherapist discovers that the patient's recovery process are not so smooth and cannot reach the expected recovery outcome, physiotherapists can improve treatment plans for their patients immediately so that their patients can recover as soon as possible.
Another positive impact is that it can increase accessibility of treatment for the patient, as the patient can undergo rehabilitation everywhere in every time. Generative AI can play the role of a virtual physiotherapist through natural language processing. When the user sends prompts to the AI, it can send the patient real-time guidance and feedback online. It allows the patient to receive rehabilitation remotely without the need to see the physiotherapist face-to-face. It makes the physiotherapy service more accessible to patients who have limited mobility and difficulty in visiting the rehabilitation centers. This could also be useful for patients in rural areas that only have limited access to physiotherapy service. It becomes convenient for the patient to receive treatment.
So here comes the negative impacts of Gen AI to different types of jobs in physiotherapy. First, affecting job prospects of physiotherapists. Generative AI can simply simulate and mimic repeated jobs of physiotherapists, like asking patients about symptoms for record, conducting simple rehabilitation exercises like simply stretching the limbs, or search relevant references and information about the disease. This reduces the required skills for physiotherapists, as they simply rely on AI. Job requirements of a physiotherapist is reduced, so career prospects of physiotherapists are adversely affected. In a worst-case scenario, if GenAI is able to mimic most of the jobs of a physiotherapist and even takes the pivotal role in analyzing the disease, some human physiotherapists with less professional knowledge can simply be replaced by GenAI and its models. This leads to a reduction in manpower but a higher reliance on AI. Second, lack of personalized care. Role of physiotherapists is to design a tailor-made rehabilitation plan for each patient so that they can get well as soon as possible. Situations of every patient is also different. For example, different symptoms, different extent of symptoms, symptoms occurring in different sites, and so on. In order to tackle the problem at root and help the patient, physiotherapists are required to be equipped with patience and meticulousness so that they can cater for the need for every individual. GenAI is able to list out all the relevant information from different websites and academic sources, but they cannot fully process the background of the patient. They can only generate some general treatment for the patients, but not designing a tailored treatment. Sometimes even the treatment is provided. The treatment itself is not suitable for patients with different needs, as the complexity and circumstances from patient to patient are different. For example, a 3-minute short run can exert different effects on both children and elderly, but GenAI cannot consider that. They can only sort out some general directions, but not the detailed one. Quality and outcome of the treatment can be adversely affected. Finally, error in analysis. GenAI is not fully mature. For example, GenAI can quickly calculate a mathematical equation at the level of primary and even junior secondary school. However, when the level comes higher, GenAI may not be competent enough to calculate accurately. For some complicated equations, GenAI can still calculate this wrongly. Back to physiotherapy. Human structure is far more complicated than calculation. There are no standardized steps or techniques in analyzing a particular human structure. Behind certain diseases, there can be lots of reasons causing that. However, GenAI is only limited to search and bring up related information. It lacks the ability to analyze the situation comprehensively. It cannot sum up different information together and draw a conclusion on its own. Therefore, when using GenAI in determining what disease a patient has, the answer comes out may not be accurate.
For how different generative AI tools can assist us in completing the project, we have used different AI to do mainly the idea generation and content creation of the good and bad impacts of the generative AI to different jobs in physiotherapy. Although no ideas have been selected, but AI has provided an answer base that allows a faster yet more effective process, saving up a lot of time and effort, and also allows an easier elaboration of the answer. It can also generate new ideas based on the input data. This can help in brainstorming and coming up with innovative ideas. Below is the prompt we used and the corresponding AI response. For good impacts, we have used the bank chat. And for the bad impacts, we have used the POE. For the speech we used to introduce the background of this topic, we also generated it using the ChatGPT 4. And again, we elaborate and modify the AI response for a bit in the presentation. Lastly, we also attempt to generate a template of the PowerPoint using bank chat, but the result is not satisfactory, so we decided to stay with the Canva template instead.
Now, I would like to talk about some problems we have faced when we were finishing the project using GenAI. These problems include hallucinated information, contents being too vague, and it takes several tries to get the desired results. First, GenAI created fake contents. It tries to give very general information, which is logically acceptable but not evidence-based. For example, when we asked for 5 facts, it gave us 3 facts and 2 fake ones. When we asked for links and references, it sometimes gives links that are not working. If AI created content based on these links, this means the content is hallucinated and not credible. When we try to question GenAI about its answers, it always gives an alternative reply. This lowers the trustworthiness of GenAI's answers. Second, GenAI always gives shallow insights. It hedges too much when providing answers and get very fake replies to avoid being challenged. Sometimes when we ask follow-up questions, it simply paraphrases its previous response. Although GenAI can offer some very broad answers, it cannot delve very deep into the issue to give very unique insights. It is more of a concluding machine. For example, when we asked about the benefits of GenAI in the physiotherapy industry, it just answered, AI can address inefficiencies and remove unnecessary stresses that obstruct clinical work. This can make the work of physiotherapists more focused and efficient. It didn't give answers or examples of what inefficiencies are, nor what unnecessary stresses are. Overall, the answers are too general and vague, and it is hard to mimic human work. Finally, it is time-consuming to revise our prompts until GenAI gave desired results. Also, GenAI's answers are deeply influenced by previous replies. We have to clear the conversation before asking GenAI again. It becomes troublesome when GenAI made a mistake in the middle of a conversation. We have to merge our guiding questions into our prompt again. Sometimes, GenAI gives some really good points, but it seems to never appear again when we ask GenAI the other time. This can be frustrating if we only depend on GenAI to finish our work.